Hi, and welcome to this video on the ECE 410 Fieldwork site project. So I'm going to share my screen so we can go over the project and what you'll be doing for this project. I hope this project will be a little bit of a fun project. So this is a project. You'll see this video here when you actually see it. I'm making the video now, so it's not there. But this is, so let me go back to assignments and then we'll go to open it. Okay. And so this is the description of the project. This is the same description that's in the syllabus. So you should see the same information here in the syllabus. I just copied it so you have reference information there. Okay, so you're creating either a pamphlet, a brochure, or a website, your choice, whatever you feel more comfortable doing. And the purpose is for you to understand inclusion, have a deeper understanding of inclusion, especially inclusion in early childhood settings, um, to have knowledge of programs, to evaluate and analyze programs, and to have a deeper insight of the experience families will go through with children who have disabilities and finding appropriate placements. And we're going to talk about that. So for this task, as I said, you're going to create either a brochure or a website for your ECE 410 field site. So where you are currently doing your field work for ECE 410. So it's not a fictitious site, it's where you are doing your field work for 410. And then you're going to gather information, and you're going to use that to create your brochure. So the first thing that you're going to gather is basic information about the program. The program's full name. So, for example, I worked at a program called Edgies, and so everybody called it Edgies. However, that's not the full name of the program, right? The program's address, the site address, the place that you go to every day, or every twice a week, or whenever. Um, the phone number, the website address, the hours the program is open for families, the ages the children served. Maybe you're in the 4-year-old class, but what's the youngest age? What's the oldest age that they serve? The program type and classroom type, we'll talk about that in a moment. The program's philosophy and curriculum. Additional services that the program offers, maybe extended hours, swimming, etc. And other info that might make the program interesting to families. I should tell you, this program that you're creating is designed to recruit potential families to want to come to your program. You're going to pretend you're having a career fair and you're making a brochure that you want to hand out to families. Um, so after you have this basic information, then you're going to use two resources from our resources, and I'll show you from our module. I'll show you those resources so that you can assess the site and say, the site can accept these children, the site does this. And then you're going to embed information from another source into your brochure. Then you don't want everything to be in paragraphs because it's a brochure. So you want it to be in maybe some paragraphs, some bulleted lists. Decide if you want a website or a brochure, and then create the layout for your project. Maybe look at other brochures or websites, and see how they are laid out. This is the rubric for how the assignments will be reviewed. Now, For those who know me, know that every semester I change assignments, right? Nothing happens the same semester after semester. So these are some samples of brochures that have been submitted in years past. However, I have changed the requirements of so for this, in this iteration, there was a part about engaging families. I don't have that in this. And there's a part about benefits of including families. The goal is to give you idea about the layout. So every semester things change, right? So this is just to give you an idea of what your brochure could look like. This person chose not to use bullets. I would suggest maybe using bullets. Um, the other thing, please note that all of these pictures are Google pictures or publicly available pictures. Please do not use any pictures of children in your classroom. You can use take a picture of the classroom when it's empty. You could take a picture of the front of the building where no children are there, but there should be no children in any of your pictures of your Fieldwork site project. I'm going to go back to sharing, and this is another uh, sample brochure. I'm just going to open this up. And these are different layouts. And again, this person had a little bit of bullet points. So just remember, and you can get templates for brochures on Canva, on I'm sure Google has probably some, on Word. There are lots of different ways that you can get templates for brochures. The other thing that I want to show you is that I have here, there is a chart. It's a Google chart. If you click it, it'll open it. Give it a moment. This is the information that you should have on your Fieldwork site project. Okay, so it says program type and philosophy. Is your program a Head Start, an early Head Start, a public school, a daycare, a preschool, a nursery school, a UPK, a religious school? Okay, that's the program type. If you can answer these questions, this will help you format the information on your brochure. I might put a little bit of information to supplement your understanding of program curriculum. But you can also ask the teacher, your cooperating teacher, what curriculum do you use? How does the program believe children learn? Is it a play-based, philosophy? Is it a Reggio Emilia philosophy? My guess is the school or the program has a website. So look at their website, see what their website says, see if they have a brochure for families, and look at what that says. What are their principles about how young children learn? Do they use a curriculum like creative curriculum? Do they use a curriculum like Heggerty or Foundations? Some schools and some programs use those curriculum. Head Starts use those curriculum. Clearly, if they use those curriculum, that's going to be important. You want to ask your cooperating teacher these questions. You don't want to, this is your project, so you want to engage in the dialogue with your cooperating teacher. Um, who's eligible to come to this program? Is it open to the community? Is it only for employees of an agency or an organization? Is it only for families in a particular neighborhood? Is it only for families who meet income criteria? Um, and then what are some special services that the program offers? Extended day, family workshops. I said swimming. You know, remember, you're trying to sell this program, so why would families want to come? Then you're using the articles from ECE 410. So let's look at these checklists. So you're going to use the two checklists, Watson and McCarthan, and I see a typo, I will change that, and misread. Um, so let's look at those. And I'm going to stop my share for a second so that I can open up these documents so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we are all on the same page. So let me open here and go back to my share so that you can see. Okay, so we are in week 5, and I will make sure that the materials for here we go, materials for our site visit project are here. So you see there's a whole series of articles. There are 2 articles that are checklists. One is Watson and McCarthan. So there's the article. You should read the article. And then it starts with a checklist. Okay. Talks about homeschool communication. What does the program do to communicate with families? How does the program support positive behavior? So these are things. Remember, you're selling the program. So to support home communication, we do this. We do this. If you can answer yes to this. To support positive behavior, we do this, we do this, we do this. You're answering yes or no to this program, for this program. Um, you know, you're looking through and answering these questions. To support social skills, we do this, and this, right? If you say not yet, you don't really want to tell families that because you're selling the program to families. Now, here's the piece about children with disabilities, because this is you're selling the program for children for families who have children with disabilities. So you want to sell the program in general, supporting social skills, assessment and curriculum, supporting positive behavior, homeschool communication. You want to put that in there. And then you want to look at the disability categories. So, physical disabilities, children with sensory, what we call sensory impairments. Remember, last week we talked about the types of disability categories. Sensory impairments, um, children with language and communication disorders, which can be developmental disorders, and then children with intellectual disabilities, which is developmental disorders, and then sensory concerns. Okay, so we're coming here and saying yes or not yet to these. If you answer yes to all of these, then you can say this program is appropriate for children with physical disabilities. Our program is appropriate for physical disabilities because we have da 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 da. Our program is, if it's not appropriate for children with hearing or visual impairments, then you probably don't want to say that. But you could say our program, if your program is appropriate for children with hearing and visual impairments because da 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 da. Excuse me. Our program is appropriate for children with communication and language disorders because da 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 da, right? Using the information from the checklist. Our children, our program is appropriate for children with developmental disabilities or intellectual disabilities according to this checklist because of da 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 da. Da. Our program is appropriate for children with sensory disabilities because da 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 da. And then also thinking about outdoor spaces. Okay. Our outdoor spaces are inclusive because da 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 da. So this is the Watson and McCarthan. And then let's go right back here to Misrit. So the Misrit is also a checklist. It uses a UDL framework, and we'll talk about UDL in a future module, but you're also going to say the learning environment, the physical environment supports children with disabilities because we check this, right? What do you check? Okay. We check this, whichever ones you check. Okay. And then there's more on page, whatever. This, I think this is page 3. Okay. And then make sure you're reading through this as you go along. The social environment, looking at what social environment means, you're evaluating which elements can you check yes to, okay? Then you're going to report that in your brochure or your website. The temporal environment, and look and see what temporal environment means. Which ones can you check yes to? Okay, you're going to include the ones you check yes to in your brochure. And then teaching strategies. Which ones do you check yes to? Include them in your brochure or website. Okay, so then you're also going to include information from one other source. So Watson and McCarthy and Misrit are the last two, but you should include information from one of these other sources. This is another checklist on belonging. So you could use, if you are liking the checklists, you could include the belonging checklist and just say we promote belonging using, these strategies. If you prefer another framework, you could use that one, the Baker and Goldberg, or if your program is a Reggio Emilia program, you should use the Edmund Strong and Fitzgerald, or if your program is Montessori, I believe, yes, this is the Montessori article. Mackenzie and Zakavage is a Montessori model. So you can use any of these other articles, but you should include at least one reference to one other article. Okay, so I hope that helps and gives you an idea of what you're doing for your fieldwork site project. It seems like a lot. It's really not. You're really just taking a critical look at your site and gathering some information to share with potential families. You have the opportunity to be creative. I look forward to seeing your creative insights. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Be well.